Welcome back to my channel, fellow gardeners. Now, what happened yesterday, it was a public holiday, and so what I've been doing is just going around and opening up my soil and actually putting in more soil, because the soil I get from Michael is amazing. It's got compost in it, it's got manure, it's got grit, which helps with the drainage. And so today I thought, let's talk about soil, because that's the most important component in gardening. So welcome back. My name is Alice and I'm the Red Soil Gardener. Now, so many people are asking me about my potting soil. So I thought, let's talk about it, and then we'll later go to Michael, who we've always had in our channel, and he'll explain why he has the best potting soil. Now, the thing is that what I'd like to point out, that in Nairobi, it's very difficult to actually go and get potting soil, because we do have garden centers. But for a lot of people, garden centers, when they do sell their potting soil, it's very expensive. So for me as a gardener, I looked for all sorts of different sort of opportunities to see where I could get a really good potting soil, as I grow a lot of things in pots, but get a really good potting soil that works for me. Now, the other thing, what we have a problem is that to get perlite or even vermiculite, it goes in waves. And I've been looking for perlite for the last few months, so I can't find it on the market, or even if you do find it, it's very expensive. Now, why I went with Michael's soil, which he will explain to us, is that first of all, it's organic. And in this organic mix, he has compost, he has bark, he has grit. And then the beautiful thing about it, it's well draining. So now when I'm looking for a well-drained soil, which I always do talk about, and I do have holes here. So when I use Michael's potting soil, it does drain. So basically it is well draining, and as we saw is that in my recycled container, which I have holes, as soon as you pour your water, it does drain through. And what happens is that you won't get root rot of water actually sitting on your roots. Another thing, what I love about this plant, this type of soil, is that you have all these lovely earthworms in there, which also helps with moving the soil, and it does actually add to the soil in terms of nutrients. So basically that is Michael's soil, and we will visit him and he'll show us how he combines all these lovely mixtures to make his potting soil, which works out not expensive. Now, the other thing I use is, especially when I'm dealing with cacti, is I always add a mixture of river sand. Now, river sand is that this is what you get in the rivers, and it's really just grit. It's almost like a quartz, but it's all churned up. And then the great thing about when you do add river sand, again, the water just drains through, as I show you. This is my river sand, and I do have drainage holes there. And when I do pour my water in it, again, you get your drainage. And so the water does pass freely through it. So if I want to do, especially for epiphyliums, is I do use the organic material, and sometimes I do add a bit of grit from here, from the river sand. So seeing the two components that I use, let's head to Michael's place, nursery, and let's see how he makes the soil. So follow me. So we've arrived at Michael's beautiful nursery, and as we said, is that I always use his potting mix. Potting mix is very expensive in Nairobi, and things like perlite come in and out, so you can never, there's not a constant supply. But Michael has it, he's got his alternatives, and he has his potting mix, which I actually vow to it. So tell us about your ingredients here.
Yeah.
It's like being in your kitchen.
Yes. So we have different types of potting soil.
Okay.
Potting mix, that is. It all depends with the plant that you are
Yes.
planting.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it comes to roots.
Yes.
You know, some plants have fibrous roots, others have tap roots.
Yes.
So for the fibrous root plants, we usually use pumice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what sort of plants have, just to give an example, for the fiber
For the
fiber rooting?
like succulents,
Okay.
also cactus.
Okay.
Most of plants have fibrous roots,
Yes.
unless it's a tree or a bigger plant let's say something like a hedge.
Yes.
Those plants which are used for hedges,
Yes.
those have tap roots.
Okay. Okay. I've got you.
So here we have compost.
Okay.
This is compost,
I love this stuff.
pure compost.
Yes.
I usually make it myself
Yes.
from the cuttings.
Yes.
You know, when you cut the fence,
Mm-hmm.
those leaves,
Mm-hmm.
we just mix them. I do it myself.
So you layer it?
I do rear
Okay.
in rears.
Yes.
Then you keep on watering.
Yes.
Maybe after 3 to 4 months, you have your compost ready.
And it's so beautiful because it's,
Yeah.
first of all, look at that color.
Yeah.
And it's just full of, so
And the
light.
the
Yeah.
best thing about compost, it doesn't have any acid.
Oh, it's
it's
not
not
acidic.
acidic.
Yes.
Because lots of plants don't like acid.
Okay.
You see them changing the foliage, you see turning yellowish,
Aha.
brownish because of the acid.
Okay.
But for the compost, it's pure
Okay.
with no acid.
Okay. Do you put any soil, like normal soil, garden soil, in here to get a bit of texture, or it's just pure compost?
I usually, for the compost, if I want to mix, I usually mix with the chicken manure,
Okay.
because this is like NPK
Yes.
and pumice.
Okay.
Yes.
So you don't put depending on different plants.
Depending on the plant.
Yeah, but
Yes.
with this, it's enough.
It's
you
enough.
don't need to get garden soil and mix it.
Yes.
Okay.
Because some plants
Very
are very
nice.
delicate. If you talk of plants like African violet,
Yes.
it doesn't want anything to do with acid.
Aha.
Yeah, so you have to put pure compost without this manure. Or for this one you can put, because this one also is not acidic at all,
Yes.
but no manure at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's a very interesting note.
This is pumice. You know pumice. We have been
Yes.
using pumice with you.
Yes.
This is for aeration
Yes.
and water storage.
Yes.
Yes.
And I love
And it also has everything that a plant requires. All minerals, that is.
Oh, inside the pumice.
Yes.
And like you said, is that if you water, the water goes inside.
Goes inside.
It's like a sponge. It's almost
Yes,
yeah.
it's like a sponge.
Yeah. So would you actually recommend this if you were doing like seedlings? Would you put pumice or instead of vermiculite in order to?
Yes.
Yeah, but
It will
maybe
do
the
very well.
thinner ones.
The thinner one. You see,
Yeah,
these
this
are
ones.
a little bit bigger particles.
Yeah.
We have thinner ones.
Yeah.
You see, like this one.
Yeah, and you just mix it with a bit of
We
salt,
just mix it
and it
with a bit
becomes
of
like
soil.
a substitute for vermiculite.
Yes.
Yes. Great.
Also,
lovely.
we have chicken manure. It has nitrogen, potassium, calcium,
NPK.
NPK. That is.
Now tell me, what is the difference between chicken manure and cow manure, for example? Why wouldn't I use cow manure?
I don't like cow manure because it has lots of acid than.
Okay, the
chicken
uric
manure.
acid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I prefer chicken manure.
manure.
Yes.
Okay.
Also because
interesting.
of potassium.
Ah.
Yes.
And potassium is good for the
for the plants grow the leaves.
Oh, for the leaves, for the
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Also, we have tree barks.
Oh, I love this. Yeah.
No, this one you
It
usually.
disintegrates so quickly. Yeah.
These one are also very good. These are
Yeah.
for orchids,
Yes.
some air plants.
Yeah.
You see, like this orchid.
Look at that. It just breaks. Yeah.
So we
Okay.
usually use
The bark.
the bark,
This
the
is
tree
the
barks.
orchid with the bark.
Yeah. Also, we have a tree fan. For tree fan, you see, it's very light.
I know this is what I want for my orchids.
Yes, this one is also very good for orchids.
Yeah.
See, like
What
this
is
one,
this
you
stuff
just
made of?
This is a fan also.
Oh, it's a fern.
You remember we did the fan?
Yes, we did.
These are tree fan. It's the biggest fan.
Oh, this
It's
is
called
a
tree
tree
fern.
fern.
Yeah, it grows like a tree.
Ah.
Yeah.
And so with this you use
So these
it.
are the barks for the you just cut the tree fan.
Yes,
So these
the little bits of it that
yeah,
you cut.
yeah, the stem part of
stem.
it.
Wow.
It grows like this.
It grows like this.
Yes.
And so what do you do with this?
We usually use this one also for you can tie your orchids,
Yes.
your air plants.
Yes.
If you have plants like Transia,
Yeah.
you can use it.
There it is. So, Michael, tell me, so when I come and buy my 20 kilos of potting mix from you,
Yes.
what is it you put? Because I see everything here is inside it.
I usually put these three stuff:
Okay.
compost, chicken manure, and pumice.
So that's what I use for my potting mix, which I get from Michael. And it has all these three ingredients, which again, for aeration and also moisture, like an NPK fertilizer. And then I have the lightness of the compost, which helps with also aeration and
Yes.
the rooting to
Yeah.
make it easier. Fantastic.
So those are the three
Components.
Unless it's a delicate plant like succulent,
Yes. Then you would use only this.
I would advise you to use pumice.
And
And if you want to plant something like orchids, it's better you use the barks or the tree fern.
okay, fantastic.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Michael, again. Now I know exactly what I'm using, and I really do believe in your products, because anything I use, if it's for potting and or even just what do you call it, repotting my plants, I use your mixture,
It's the
and
best.
everything just sprouts out and looks healthy. Thank you so much.
Most welcome.
So thank you so much, fellow gardeners. Again, we want to thank Michael. We will put his contact there, and do ring him up and get your potting mix, because potting mix is very expensive, but Michael has a really good price, and we know exactly what goes in there. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe. Press that notification button. Write to us on Instagram, on YouTube, DM me. I'm always there to help you. So thank you so much,
Most
Michael.
welcome. Asante
Thank
sana.
you, asante sana.
Yeah.